All right, I wanted to go back and talk about this sequence once again. If you, you probably remember, but in case you don't, what happened here was this was the end of the Raiders-Bengals game. I think in hindsight, this was obviously a very huge play in the way that we view this season. I mean, the Bengals could have very easily lost here. They're currently up 7, so, a touchdown doesn't win it for the Raiders, but they could go for 2 here, which I think they probably would have done. Quite frankly, that's just a hunch. I don't know that. Of course, if the Raiders would go on to win, then what happens? Did they beat the Titans? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe the Titans win the Super Bowl if the Raiders win this game. Maybe the Chiefs win the Super Bowl if the Raiders win the game. Maybe the Rams still do, but it's an interesting thing to talk about. So first thing what we should talk about is on this first down, what they're going to do here is, well, they're going to spike the ball. Look, as you see, Derek Carr just simply spikes the ball, and that's that. Which, obviously what's interesting about this is you lost a down in doing this. You maybe didn't have to do it. When you stop the clock, there was then 29 seconds left on the clock. So maybe you didn't have to do that. You could have ran a play. It's an interesting discussion, but obviously it didn't work out. Obviously, it also kind of, what I think is, it kind of gives us just an idea into where Derek Carr's head was at on this next play as well. Because look at how what you're going to see on this very next play is that it's going to be a zone coverage play, and you have a little zone buster. And typically the way you do this is that actually the Darren Waller thing a little bit underneath can be the one, he's the guy who's running the route that's going to get into a gap in coverage, kind of the route that's not going to get into the end zone. That's something that can often get open on this play. Like, look, as you see, Carr takes the snap, and you see right here, well, you might be wondering, why not just throw it to Waller here? He's the guy who, typically, that's where your progression would take you. You throw it to him. He might not get into the end zone, but he's probably going to get to like the 2-yard line or so, and it's a lot easier to punch it in from there than where you're currently at. The windows just do get bigger there. However, the issue is, well, what do you do then? It's now going to be third down if you do hit Waller, so you could hustle up and run another play. You do have enough time to do that. I think that's probably what they should have done, but I think that they're trying to preserve a little bit more time. You obviously can't spike the ball, and who knows if they have a second play called here, so that might have been the aspect. Carr tries to fit it through a tight window. It's actually a good throw. Had a chance of working there, so, can't blame him too much for that, but it doesn't work out. They aren't able to convert there. So, again, kind of an interesting play to now bring us to a third down situation. Here on the third down, this is really where you saw the Bengals defense flex their muscles. I thought, I'm just going to pause it right here for a second so I can set it up. It's again going to be a zone coverage play, and just watch what happens. Look, as you see, Carr takes the snap right here, and I mean, there is just nothing open. I'm pausing it. I mean, we are well into this play and still nothing is getting open. We're talking over almost 4.5 seconds into the play, and there's just no options for Carr. Carr's going to just throw one towards Renfrow, and Renfrow actually had a chance at it. He just slipped. So again, you talk about how the course of football history could be changed if Renfrow ends up not slipping and he makes the catch and they get a touchdown there. What happens? Again, maybe the Bengals still win this football game and nothing else changes, but it's just a very fascinating situation. They were kind of that close, but again, also has to be mentioned, it was just incredible coverage by the Bengals to get to that point where Carr basically had to throw one up and hope Renfrow made a tough play, which he wasn't able to. Finally, fourth down here, so ball has to go into the end zone, and worth mentioning, these windows are getting tight. Like, these are not going to be wide open windows right here. On this play, it's going to be zone coverage. It's actually kind of a similar route. Zay Jones is running a similar route to the one Waller ran earlier, except this time the goal is to make sure you get right at the goal, literally the goal line. That's the goal here. As you see, Carr takes the snap, and there is a little bit of a bubble here. Like, I see why Carr took this throw. Like, this makes some sense to me. I don't hate it whatsoever. You could maybe say he should have thrown it earlier, but again, I don't know. This is pretty good for me from Carr. This is just good defense. As you see, steps in front, does get the interception. Just a great defensive play. That's really what it came down to, is like the coverage here for the Bengals just clamped down on all of the Raiders. And again, maybe Carr should have thrown it to Waller underneath on this play, but at the same time, I think he probably made the right call. It was just sometimes good defense means that you don't have an opportunity, and that's what happened there with Carr. So yeah, that's what I think. Listen, there are little things you can go back to and say, man, there was a chance the Raiders could have won that game, But at the end of the day, there's a million things that the Bengals probably could have done differently in this game as well, because that's how football works. Is no one plays a perfect game, but the Bengals were able to get the best of them. So just figured it'd be a fun video. I know we're well past that, but I didn't get to talk about too much of this kind of stuff right after the fact, because I was heading straight into like, okay, now I had to do divisional round previews kind of stuff. So now that we have some time, it's the off season, just going back doing this stuff, kind of fun. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.